Hey Orchestra! So today we are going to continue learning about accidentals and applying it to Jingle Bell Rock. So we have learned about the A sharp that's in measure 11 and then the B flat that's in measure number 33. And so what I want to do today is kind of go over what sharps and flats really mean and where that comes from and relate it to a piano keyboard, which might help you to picture where those sharps and flats are, like on your open strings on your own instrument. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do, I have a music stand right here and I'm at the keyboard. So on measure number 11, this is violin music, but everybody has an A sharp in that measure. This is the measure that goes like this. Okay, so we have B's and A sharps. We're going to focus on that A sharp. And then we're also going to talk about the B flat that's down here at the bottom. And those two notes are actually the same pitch. All right, so when we come to a piano keyboard, like this, the piano keyboard is organized in sets of like there's 2 black keys and then there's 3 black keys. And then there's 2 black keys and 3 black keys, and it keeps on going in that pattern all the way up. And that's how we are able to figure out where the notes are based on that pattern. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. This is an A. That's your open A. So when you go up the piano keyboard to the right, so going up that way and moving to the right, that makes the notes go higher like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it keeps going in the alphabet all the way up to the highest note up there. Likewise, if you go down and to the left, that would be going to the lower strings on our instrument. So on the piano, it's left and right. Right means higher, right means higher, and left means lower. So that's important for us because that'll determine if something is called a sharp or a flat. So here's our A. So pluck your open A. Okay, good. Now here's our first finger note, and if you go to the right of an A on the piano, that goes 1 letter higher in the alphabet, so this is B. Okay, so play your B on your instrument. All right, good. Now do you notice between that, there's 1 key on the piano. So if we go from the open A and we put our finger halfway between the first finger position, or the first finger and the open string, we get this. Okay, now I'm just like walk over and grab my viola, which I should have had with me. Okay, here I come. So this would be like, here's my A string, here's my first finger, it would be in right here, halfway. So this would be A, open A sharp. Again on the piano, A sharp. Now if you go to that note from the B, and you go down or a half step to the left, it's called a B flat. Because you're going flat, you're going lower. So that means that if you started with your first finger on B and you moved back, it would be called B flat. But can you see that it's the same place that you press down? Whether it's A sharp or B flat, there's only 1 note and it's right between the nut and the first finger tape. Okay? Just like there's only 1 piano key between the A and the B. But there's 2 different names. A sharp, B flat. Okay? Now let's apply that to another open string. So if this is A, what do you think this note is called? Maybe your ears will tell you. Let's listen to my viola. It's my D string. Okay, so here's our D. So put your first finger on your D string and make a prediction. What do you think the name of that note is going to be? If you go to the right on the piano keyboard, you're going up the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E. this is E, which would be your first finger. Move viola over here. Okay, so D string, here's my E string, my first finger is on the E. Now, if you're gonna move down in pitch, what's the name of that note? E flat. Okay, and then if you went from the open string to that same spot, from open to this halfway, that would half step higher, that's called D sharp. Okay, so two things that you can use to help you remember the difference between flats and sharps. So let's say you're about to sit down on a chair and somebody has put a sharp object on that chair, like let's say there's a thumbtack and that little pokey part is poking straight up. If you sit down on that chair with a thumbtack on it, which way is your body gonna go? Ouch! It's gonna go up. So sharps make us go up in pitch. Okay? Now, let's picture a car. We're gonna talk about flats, and let's say a car tire goes flat. So here's the top of the car, and as the tire goes flat, the car is gonna actually go down. So, okay, so when you go down in pitch, that's called a flat. Alrighty, so that's the difference between the sharps and the flats. And I'll show you how I kind of remember that in my music too. Okay, so these are the sharps. Look at those pokey things. They're pointing upwards. So that means that you would go up, that would make you go up to be a sharp. And take a look at the shape of this little flat down here. Where's that little guy? See how it has like something that little bottom part of that little B looking thing, the flat, it's kind of like it's pointing downwards. So those are a couple little things that you can do to help you remember which one is sharp and which one is flat and what to do about it. Camera back on me, please. Camera back on me. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so let's say we wanted to, it's pajama day today, so yeah, I'm sporting pajamas and bedhead. So let's say we wanted to, I already did that. We applied it to a different note. So let's review, okay? Whoops, I'm gonna have to turn this around if we review. Okay, so here's our A and here's our B. Name of this note, it has two different names. A sharp, B flat. All right, that's just like the story that I hope you've heard in class. I have two different names. At school, you guys call me Mrs. Mansky because that's my name at school. But my daughters are not going to say, hey, Mrs. Mansky, can you make me some macaroni and cheese? I'm going to be like, Mrs. Mansky? Why are you calling me Mrs. Mansky? My own daughters, my own kids ask me that, they're going to call me Mom. So this is like me at home. I'm Mom. There's me as being Mom. And at school, Mrs. Mansky. I am the same person, but I have two different names. A sharp, B flat, Mom, Mrs. Mansky. All right? So, hopefully that makes a bit more sense to you about what sharps and flats actually are and how you can figure out where to put your fingers when you see those symbols, because you can do that with a lot of different notes. All of your open strings and just about every note. There are a couple notes where there isn't a flat and sharp between them. For example, if you see these two notes right here, there's no black key in between. So this is what we call a naturally occurring half step. This is a D, D, E, F natural. So that would be like on my viola. I gotta hold it correctly this time. D, E, F natural, low 2. All right? D, E, F natural. You wouldn't necessarily say that this is F flat because it's an E. And then this note right here isn't necessarily an E sharp. I mean, it sometimes is, but don't worry about that. It's an F. All right? And another place that happens is with B and C. So here's B, like first finger on your A string, and C, low 2. So I hope that helped you understand a little bit more about accidentals and why sometimes notes have two different names, even though you play them with the same finger in the same spot. All right, happy practicing.